what he said.
I'll see if I can fit it. You know, I haven't watched politics in so long. I used to find it so interesting. I do think though, the House of Lords and the House of Parliament in the UK is basically like children's play.
Do you want to hear something interesting
Go
that you
on.
might not be aware of? You know John Bercow?
No.
Order.
Oh yes.
Order.
Order.
Do you know what he does these days?
No.
He's a lecturer at Royal Holloway.
Really?
He lectures. He's a guest lecturer. He's a frequent guest lecturer at Royal Holloway.
What does he lecture in? Politics.
He teaches. He has his own lecture in a module at Royal Holloway.
No way.
In politics, yeah. He teaches a class.
I would go in just to listen to him.
That's all the students. All the students who don't turn up. Suddenly there's 200 people there like, yeah, I actually really love politics, even though they've got like 10% attendance.
University, you can get away with so much. In regards to attendance, they let you push the boat out on what you can do in terms of academic attendance, and they draw the line so far down the road. It's like you've got to really be flunking before they put in safety measures.
Sometimes my students will try and sneak out of the class, and I'm like, guys, this isn't.
They sneak out of the class.
They try to sneak out.
How?
Right?
How does one
like
sneak out
they'll try
of the
and
class?
leave without the lecturers noticing, and I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, guys, if you want to leave, you can leave. This is university. It's freedom. Freedom is the key here.
You know what I've been watching? I've been watching that TV show, that UK TV show, Fresh Meat.
Okay.
It's got the there's a couple of famous people in there now, but it's about their uni experience in Manchester. You know, it's a house, uni halls, and there's the 3 years together, and you know the things that go on, all the different relationships, all the people from different backgrounds. You've got the posh guy, you've got the individual that's come in from the army, you've got the guy that's been there for like 3 years, just redoing his undergrad on different degrees and just changing before the finals. You've got the really like insecure ones, and you've got the really outgoing ones, and they're all stuck in this house together. And it made me kind of just look on back on my uni experience and the things I had with my housemates and my friends, just really positively. It was really nice. I was like, I was just reminiscing about it. Uni's a great time. It is. It's just a shame sometimes when the academic platform or the academic, domain that you're walking into, whether for me
Doesn't fulfill you.
Doesn't fulfill you.
Yeah. A lot of students have that experience. I think when I speak to my students and people, not even just my students, other people who are going through the university experience, because I've been in the university realm for so long now, like 7 years.
Yeah.
As a student and as a teacher, I've kind of seen every type of student. So when I hear people's experiences, the things they're going through, I've seen that story before. So when someone says, I'm really stressed, I'm not enjoying my course, this and that, I've seen this story play out before. I've seen people who've had similar experiences before. And it's kind of interesting because I can tell you the ending of this story now, if you like. I can let you just find out for yourself. Or any experience.
Have you said that to someone and they go, I want to know the ending?
I haven't said that to someone because I feel like saying that to them, it's their experience at the end of the day. And for them, it's a unique experience. And it's kind of patronizing to say that to them in the moment when they're going through it.
Right.
Because to them, it's a unique experience. But they don't realize is there's loads of people going through the exact same thing and have done before them. And a lot of the time, the story endings are happy endings. Like my girlfriend, because she's 4 years younger, when she was really stressed about her uni exams, like really stressed about it, I was saying to her, I was like, babe, I've seen this story play out before. You are fine. People like you are fine in these situations. There's a happy ending here. And I know it's hard to believe me in this moment, but you are. That's the only time really I've kind of given away the ending of the story. Because my missus. But you see these things play out. You can tell which people are going to struggle and which people are going to do well. Because you can kind of attach someone you've seen in the past who's in a very similar situation, who've gone through it.
And you've done so many more years than everyone else that you're like just seeing them come through and come through and come through.
You ended up hating your course.
Yeah.
If you had a chat with an undergrad person going through a similar experience, you'd probably end up smiling like, I've seen this play out.
Oh, I have. There's people that I've, friends and family have put in touch, or like I've just old friends people that I met at university that I've met later, and they're like, oh, I don't like what I'm doing now. I'm like, yeah, I was there. I know that. People are like, oh, I'm depressed. I'm like, yeah, I know how that feels. I know it sucks.
Sometimes just speaking to someone who's gone through something that you have is really helpful. I always talk about that example of imposter syndrome. I always say to people, I've said this on this podcast before, if you're going through imposter syndrome, speak to someone who's extremely successful, right? Who you have a lot of respect for, and ask them, do you or have you ever had imposter syndrome? And chances are the answer is going to be yes. And then think to yourself, wow, if they can go through imposter syndrome, I'm not special. There's nothing wrong with me.
Everyone puts their best foot forward. Everyone on social media in life, or tries to in life at least, right? And so you only get the best version of them. A lot of the time you try and get people see the best version of yourself, or you trying to be the best version of yourself. They don't see the background of it all. Uni, that it's like that on steroids, because everyone's trying to please. A lot of the time everyone's going into this new environment and you're trying to please the lecturers, you're trying to please your new friends, you're trying to make friends, you're trying to not make enemies. And so you don't really kind of get to know people until probably like the third year, when they start falling into the lull of, oh, you're my mate now, it's all good.
When you went for that big birthday dinner at Piccolino's, what year was that?
That was year 2. Second year.
Right, so
You remember that?
I'm going to make a point about it now, right? So
Sheesh me.
this is a prime example of kind of how university and life works throughout the years, I reckon. How many people were at your second year of university birthday dinner?
31.
31 people. We just had a dinner for your birthday. How many people were there?
There's 6 of us, isn't there? There's 6, yeah, 6.
Including yourself.
Including myself.
And that's a metaphor for life. As you go through life and you get busier and your time becomes more valuable, your circle gets smaller, because the time you can dedicate to each friendship becomes smaller, and the real friendships last.
True. I agree with that to a point, up to a point though. I think that you do have to put the work into relationships. So you do have to message people, even though they might not message you back, if you want to maintain a relationship. But you get that choice. And that's the way that I operate now. It's like, if I want a relationship with someone, whether it's my high school friends, whether it's my sixth form friends, whether it's my uni mates, if I want a relationship, I will reach out. If I don't want a relationship, I won't reach out. But it's not that I don't like you. It's just that we've parted ways, but you're still good. Like, it's all love still. If you walk back into my life, I'm still going to talk to you like we were just talking yesterday at uni or something.
But again, to my point, as time goes on and you get busier,
because you allocate your time to yourself. You got to make yourself more efficient.
You don't have time to water all of those relationships. Now you probably only have time to water 4 or 5 of them at most. And that's just the reality of it.
I do like having a group of people though, and also it being in from different times. Like, we've got our lot that was at the birthday dinner that I made in my last year of uni, and kind of really got to know my last year of uni. I didn't really know Sham at all. I used to see him and say hi, and that was it. I've got the guys that I lived with, and you're with them 24/7, 365. I think it was 5 of us in the house. Yeah, 5 of us in the house, and 6 of us in the house, 5 of us did economics. And so I'd see these guys like 24/7. We used to do the same work. We used to talk about the same stuff. And so that gets intense, especially if you're on the same course. It's great because you can ping ideas off people, you can work together, you can reach out. But at the same time, it gets to a point where you're like, oh, yo, I need a break from these guys. And that's where I guess having a girlfriend at uni comes into play, because you get someone to spend time with. Like, a lot of the friends I had at uni were on the same course. I didn't actually venture out until my last year and made friends on other courses. Well, it was 2 courses. There was geography and economics.
I know we've spoken about this before. Are you in a place for a relationship now?
I think so.
Do you want one now?
I wouldn't say want. I'm open to it. I'm open to having a relationship and seeing where that goes. But if nothing materializes, it's all right. Sometimes I get lonely. Sometimes I think like, damn, I'm 24 years old. I've never had a long-term relationship. Haven't found anyone that I really, really genuinely click with, and want to spend a significant amount of time with. Because to be perfectly honest, I don't get pissed off with people. I like my alone time. I like being by myself, in my thoughts, thinking, being by myself. And maybe that comes from school and just the way that our school was built and the boarding aspect of it, though I didn't board. And also because of my childhood of constantly just working.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of life experience as a kid, most of it was just homework. When you watch shows like Skins, or you watch these like TV shows where they try and portray British society as an A-level student, as a GCSE student, I don't relate to any of that. The Inbetweeners don't relate at all. I had a conversation about this with my housemates, and they were like, "What, are you mad? How can you not relate to that?" I was like, for some reason I can't. Maybe I just didn't see it. Maybe it was like that and I just stayed out of it. Because I was so focused on just trying to get good grades. That's all it was.
You're the rare one, because I feel like most young guys our age relate to the Inbetweeners, because everyone in their life has a Simon, has a Neil, has a Jay. I was always Jay, obviously. The Inbetweeners was such a perfect show because it really summed up what it was to be growing up in a secondary school around that time. And because you were a busybody trying to learn, I guess that means you were Will.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, you were the Will.
I guess so.
And Will wouldn't know that he's in the Inbetweeners, would he? So for that reason,
I will.
That's why you don't relate to being in the Inbetweeners, because you were Will at school. You're too busy trying to learn, licking the teacher's bum.
I was a good student, I think.
Would you say you were a bum lick?
Nah.
You didn't lick the teacher's bum?
I tried to keep a fine line of being